What up, y'all, and welcome to Martinsville Speedway for the 7th race in the NRSL Jerky Pro Truck Series 2022 season. On pole is last year's winner here, Audra Baranowskis, looking to win here yet again, and she's got Delon Ibrahimian to her outside. I'm joined once again in the booth by Vince Freeze.
Baranowski's on the pole, man. We know her short track prowess has been good. That fight between her and Cage lives on, but man, Cage is just not as good on these short tracks. Gotta watch out for the leader though, Curse. We've seen that here. With no cautions on this track, it tends to be more of a crapshoot. We'll find out today. And that's it for me, man. This is gonna be one heck of a race. That's all I'm gonna say.
In row 2 is Roy Ribbleton and Yael Carrillo. Row 3, Sam Young and Chris White. Sam Young been very, very hot lately. Him and Audra just switching back and forth on the wins. Row 4, Lane Sanders and PJ Vidal. Good qualifying runs for them. And in row 5, Gene Sanford and Daniel Brown. Brown's mentor, James Ellison, very good here. So seeing that paying off here for him in qualifying. Henry Sanford starting 12th. Max Anderson, Donovan Cage, their 14th and 15th respectively. As I go through the rest of the running order here. Other past winners include LJ Toledo, Ace Rogers, Austin Mendez, and Andrew Rich, all of whom are not in the field in the Jerky Pro Truck Series this year. And Chevy in the Jerky Pro Truck Series has won the last 3 races here. Looking at the point standings, Audra Baranowskis with a 34-point lead over Donovan Cage, 67 over Benjamin Ice, 70 over Mitchell Collins, and 75 over Jack James. Gene Sanford, Lane Sanders, Roger James, Sam Young, and Pat Johnson top 10 in points. So Sam Young went from being last in the points several races ago to now being 9th in the points after all these good runs he's had. And this is Audra's record-extending 7th career pole. So she is rolling these poles out now after that championship 1 year ago. This is her 2nd pole of the season, in fact. But as Audra continues to make records, we continue to run races, and let's go trackside.
Drivers, start your engine!
So Vince, as mentioned, Audra and Sam Young, they just keep switching wins back and forth. So we had Audra win Auto Club, then we had Sam Young win Willow Springs, back to Audra for Denver, back to Sam Young for Richmond. If that pattern continues, we should probably see Audra win again today. But as you know, whole leader curse thing doesn't seem to always happen, and Jerky Pro seems to mostly happen in Cup. So we could see that continue today potentially. But big thing here is this is the last week for Jerky Pro until July 1st. They're going to have about a 6 week off week skid. Some of them are still running in Digital Storm as we go green, including our pole sitter here, Audra Baranowskis. So a lot of drivers going to have some downtime on their hands.
Looks like we already had a penalty in the back, so I saw 3 wide at the start. That's a no-no. We'll have to review that maybe at the end of the race. I don't know. Yeah, I think that was it. 54, 19, somewhere around there.
Doesn't look like anyone is pitting yet, so they might be good to go. So Audra clears Ibrahimian for the lead, and now you see Sam Young looking for 3rd place on Roy Ribbleton. And we know how dominant Sam Young was at Richmond. Vince, he was gone in just 20 laps. Trying to make sure Audra doesn't do the same to him here today. Of course, the other thing of Richmond was you had Mitchell Collins there in 2nd. Just kind of, he wasn't super slow, but he was just that like 10th off every lap, and it was so hard to pass on the inside at Richmond that no one could get around him.
And Martinsville really is about breaking, understand the center of the corner and exit. Entry's not as bad, but really it's right here, center and to the exit. That's how you gain your time. And Penske seems to be getting the short track program figured out too.
Sam Young with the fastest lap, a 21.302 that time by Lane Sanders under a 4, Gene Sanford under a 4. Watch out for those drivers. They're looking pretty quick. Oh, never mind. Audra was like, oh, you want to go fast? Okay, let me just pull this 21-1 here. Shot straight to the top of the fast chart. And now she's starting to pull away.
Audra Baranowski's, man, so we got 3 wide back there with Cage. Ooh!
Oh, and Cage just
turned.
got wrecked. That's second and third in the points. Billy Kidd's going to get a piece of it, and that's it. They got it together there.
Done.
Contact there. Oh, and Winnie Calhoun just got put in the wall. That was Hayes Green that got into her. But that is an incident we'll have to take another look at after the race. That was between second and third in the points of Benjamin Ice and Donovan Cage. I think that was a battle for 10th. Ice stays 11th. Cage falls to 17th. And this 3-wide racing ain't looking good. Chris White pinching into Max Anderson with Will Parrish to his inside. Now, Parrish didn't qualify too well, Vince. He qualified outside the top 30, and he has been moving forward today. He's up to 19th, 18th place. We know Parrish was... Oh, and now he's got to turn Cage into the inside wall, and more contact there with now Max Anderson. Oh, and Anderson just jumped the curb right into Mitchell Collins, and it's a parking lot. Calhoun's going to get stuck. Now she got hit. DeLello. Reggie Fulgerman's going to get stuck. Oh, and Ibrahimian's the leader now. Oh, we remembered this last year. Oh, it's a disaster. Everyone's riding the grass. Carrillo's going to lose a ton of positions. Ribbleton's losing a ton of positions. It continues. Oh, and here we go. Mitchell Collins is a pinball right now. Brad Lewis is still stuck. That gave Ibrahimian the lead. Audra got herself almost stuck there. She'll go right back by Lane Sanders for second. And now Jack James is slowing on the curb.
He's done damage.
Several drivers got towed there after getting stuck. Man, Roy Ribbleton with a tough break. We saw that happen to James Ellison here last year.
Don't worry, Zach. I got my notepad out writing the notes so we don't forget on replay.
Will Parrish is moving, man. He is now up to 11th. But that gave Ibrahimian the race lead because Audra went to the curbing to miss the accident when she didn't need to. Going to the curbing was actually the wrong move there. How about Billy Kidd in 9th? Lucas Catano's up to 8th. Henry Sanford is 7th. Fidel is held on to being 6th. Saw Sam Young cost himself some time there down the 4th. But Audra is starting to chip away at Ibrahimian's lead.
Where's Yael Carrillo? He looks like he had the biggest loss. He was in the top 10.
He's down to 20th.
That's a big loss.
And Jack James, only one to retire from the accident. A lot of people laps down. There you see, that was the last lap truck for Audra to get by for now. She is just on rails compared to Ibrahimian. I don't know, like, you needed a little bad luck for Audra to get to the lead, but now, like, she is still flying. It's going to be hard to hold her off.
I think Lane Sanders could win this race today, Zach. I hate to say it, but I think he has the best truck right now in terms of catching Audra. If something goes wrong, he'll be right there in that capper position to capitalize.
Just realized that Jack Holton's in 4th right now. Thought he was a lap down truck with how we've seen him run this season. But yeah, a little bit of chaos at Martinsville for the Jerky Pro Truck Series this year.
It's magnified when Donovan Cage gets turned, because that's with a 5-week break incoming, you want to have one last good result before spring break.
Well,
and, he's still in it, though. I mean,
he's still 17th. I'm surprised he wasn't the one who suffered the most out of all of that. Mitchell Collins got pinballed around down to 37th, and he came in top 5 in the points. Jack James, top 5 in the points, out of the race. Max Anderson has called it a day, too. So that's 2 Thor Sport trucks done. That leaves just the 98 of Bradley Ream. And Will Parrish has made the top 10.
See who has to fix damage on the pit stop, and that'll be key.
Well, I think Audra's fine. She just went onto the curbing there. Sam Young is trying to close in on Jack Holton. You can't really tell he was slower that last lap. Vidal's still 6th. Billy Kidd is just past Henry Sanford for 7th. Gene Sanford 13th. There's Bradley Ream in 15th. Hunter Braxton, P17, just got by Donovan Cage. Cage is definitely going to be fixing damage, so we might see him fall. He's hit the wall a couple times. Carrillo down to 20th. There's Ribbleton, who is 2 laps down. Scott Roush passing Enzo Nereza for 21st. There's Owen Miles driving the truck that won here in 2020 when Andrew Rich won. Christian Russell, Joshua Johnson, Roger James, he's top 10 in points, not having a good day. Pat Johnson, top 10 in points, not having a good day. And there's race leader Ibrahimian, still with a 1.6 second lead. He got 2 lap trucks in between him and Baranowskis, but Baranowskis is still closing the gap. And I know you said Lane Sanders looked like an underdog pick there, but he is not closing the distance as well as Audra is. He's about even, if not a tenth slower than the 22.
I think he's banking on some more trouble up ahead during these pit stops. We know getting on pit road is not the easiest thing. Sometimes being in 3rd or 4th works.
Yeah, Sam Young has made it by Holton for 4th, so Holton's tires, they're starting to fade here. He might have used up those fronts. As Catano, you see Catano getting by Henry Sanford for 7th. He's on the up. Parrish got up to 9th. Seeing the rookies start to drop out of the top 10 here. Billy Kidd's going backwards. Same with Daniel Brown. Benjamin Ice is even going backwards. He's getting passed by Brandon Mayhew. Donovan Cage, man, he's holding 17th pretty good there, though. And we expect pit stops to be right around halfway. Now Gene Sanford's looking to get by Henry. That's for 9th. Parrish up to 8th. Now Vidal down to 7th. Catano up to 6th. So good day for Lucas Catano. He needs it. He has not been having the season we thought he would. Both him and Ice. Well, Ice has been doing better with being 3rd in the points, but Catano came in 14th in the points. And Catano has yet to finish in the top 5. Ice has already done it 3 times. Well, if he gets to Jack Holton, that will be a top 5 position, and he is running away from those behind him. But we know pit stops can tend to shuffle the field here too, Vince.
And I think the undercut versus overcut depends where you are in traffic. It's such a weird place to call an undercut versus overcut. Audra's starting to lose time now behind the lap truck.
And I feel like the big thing with the issue of trying to do an overcut strategy here is when pit road fills up, it is tough to get to your stall when everybody is coming out in front of you.
Yeah, it's not strategy paradise like Richmond. Richmond was fun because you had a lot of different varying strategies. Here it's playing roulette. You really can pick anything and somehow get away if someone gets stuck on the curb too. We've seen that.
Well, Audra was losing time, but she gains 3/10 back that time by. She's been struggling to get by Austin Tyler here. Then Blaine Saylor right in front of her. Saylor also competing in the Digital Storm Cup Series. Lane Sanders, this has allowed him to close the gap, but Sam Young, most importantly, he has closed the gap. It might be a 3-truck race between Ibrahimian, Audra, and Sam Young when this is all said and done. Because right now, Ibrahimian, he had been struggling to get by traffic, but now he gets by Ron Bishop and Mitchell Collins. Seeing a bit of a gap here between Strauss and Magarick. Could help Ibrahimian pull away just a little bit. You see the lead starting to go back down again now. Vincent had climbed back up from 1.6 to about 2.3, and now it's going back down.
All part of how you get through lap traffic. You see Ibrahimian washes up didn't hit the diamond of the corner there. That helps Audra a little bit. He gets around Collins.
That leaves just Ron Bishop now, once again between Ibrahimium and Audra, as the lap trucks are going 3 wide. Only battle for position here is between Sailor and Tyler, 33rd. So both clear Mitchell Collins. Daniel Brown has jumped back up to 8th. So it's quite the battles going on back here to get into the top 10. Brandon Mayhew's up to 11th. As Henry Sanford has really fallen. He is down to 18th now. You see Braxton and Carrillo have caught up to this battle. So I'm not sure who you could say is holding everybody up here. I'd want to go with the 37, but they're not passing the 37, and it seems like they should be able to, as Gene will take 8th away from Daniel Brown. As Audra closes the gap back up to Ibrahimium, she is pulling away from the 31 and the 29.
Ron Bishop up ahead. If she gets around Ron Bishop, I think that's... No, never mind. Still got some more up ahead. It's just going to be like this all day. It's a cycle.
And this cycle has been caused because of that big junk pile in turn 3 where everyone was going onto the grass there, the curbing, and they got stuck a little bit. Audra was lucky to get pushed forward. It could have been game over for her. Now Zachary DeLello's been caught by Strauss, so that's going to hold up Ibrahimium a bit, but Audra has yet to get by Ron Bishop. Audra trying to find a way to create a run. That costs her about 5/10 instead. Lane has surprised me by still holding on to 3rd here. But Lucas Catano's closing. Oh, now look at this. Now Benjamin Isis up to 8th. He was riding around 11th and 12th pretty much this whole time, and now he's up to 8th, and he's going to be the one to put a move on Vidal for 7th. And Mitchell Collins is probably going to hold a lot of these drivers up. This could decide who gets into the top 10 before pit stops, as Billy Kidd's trying to get back into the top 10. Oh, just don't wreck him, please.
We don't need that right now.
About 10 laps away from pit stops. Ice will be the first one to clear. At 2.5 seconds behind 6th place Jack Holton. You see Ice with door damage. He will likely be fixing that on their pit stop, so he's trying to run while he can. He's probably going to spend about 3 to 4 seconds on that. All 3 wide here. That's Bradley Ream passing Vidal for 10th, while they both pass Mitchell Collins. That is single filed up this top 10 a little bit, as you see Gene Sanford getting stuck there behind the 14 for a second. Donovan Cage has actually made some inroads. Vince, he's up to 15th place.
I think it's just going to depend on it.
Oh, and Collins is going to pit. So Collins pits early. Ibrahimium continues to hold a 1.6 second lead he got by Strauss, so now still 1 truck between him and Baranauskas. And they have pulled back away from Sam Young and Lane Sanders, as Sam Young has passed Lane for 3rd. So Collins was the first to pit, Vince. I'm not sure if that was just to maybe try and get out of everybody's way there, or if they're trying to do a 40-60 run here.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got massive damage repair. I'm sure he's getting that fixed, but I don't know. I think I'd rather just split this 50-50, and oh boy, he's going to come right out in front of the
So
leaders here.
15 seconds spent on repairs. We'll see if that improved his pace at all. It looked like he was mostly down on power and on the straightaway, so this could make things interesting in the corners. We've got about a second of fall off. Zachary DeLello, he is pit now. We know he was damaged and off pace a little bit. Ibrahimim trying to find the way by Magaric. Can't quite do it that time by.
You don't want to be going side by side once we get the lap 50 down the backstretch. I think that could be dangerous if you're Ibrahimian. I think he knows what to do, though.
I think we've seen some contact going into the pits before, too.
Yep.
Lucas Catano up to 4th place. So now it's a matter of can Sam Young or Catano close the gap to the top 2. Stelello, they spent 10 seconds fixing damage. Sent that truck back out onto the track. You see Collins closing on Baranowskis only because of the tires. You see he's still running like way off the pace. He's just closing in the corner here. See, he can't do anything on the straightaway. He's just kind of riding behind Audra.
Now we're going to get into that danger zone right here.
Yeah, we're halfway. Time to pit is whenever you want at this point. If you're Sam Young or Lucas Catano, you might as well pit early. Empty pit road is the way to go.
Audrey's underneath Strauss. That's big.
That puts just one lap truck once again between Ibrahimian and Baranowskis.
Oh, here comes Mitchell, though.
And Ibrahimian
There's the
will
pit.
pit. First one to pit road is the 22. The Reza goes down in front of him. See anybody else from the leaders pitting? Jack Holton will pit. Bradley Ream, Will Parrish, Gene Sanford. You've got to go really slow here. 30 miles an hour on pit road here. Yeah, and this is what you didn't want to have to do. Look at this. Already going slower than pit entry. 20 miles an hour. They lowered pit speed from last season. I believe it was 35 a year ago. Now 30 miles an hour. It looks like Lane Sanders actually might have pit the lap before Ibrahimian.
That's a smart move. Clean pit road. Yeah, he's going to pass out. Oh, never mind.
There's Donovan Cage. See how much time he lost by fixing damage. I think he lost a lap. Yeah, he spent a good time on pit road there. Oh, and Audra's losing all kinds of positions here.
There's Lane. Oh, yeah.
That's Lucas Catano that just went by Audra. Terrible pit stop.
No way that was damage repair, was it?
No, it looks like she might have just been waiting to get a clear lane. They were side by side coming off the pit lane there behind her. Cost her a bunch of time. I think Sam Young was waiting to pit. Has he gone down to the pit lane?
Yeah, he came in early.
There he is. Yep, he just pit.
Oh, Ibrahimi was gone.
5-second lead over Lane Sanders. 6.6 over Sam Young. Catano, 7.5. Daniel Brown up to 5th. He pit early. Holton 6th. Audra falls to 7th. Mayhew up to 8th. Ream up to 9th. And Vidal 10th. So we got half the race to go. We'll see how much the overcut does. The fall off really only got up to about a 1.5 seconds there. But the 22 of Ibrahimian is gone. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 lap trucks in between him and second place. As we saw Donovan Cage there, he falls a lap down to 26 for fixing damage on that green flag pit stop. Benjamin Ice did not fall that far down. Where is the 93? He is down to 22nd. Okay, he did fall that far down. So Ice falls to 22nd, but still on the lead lap. He had speed, Vince. We'll see if he's able to rebound at all there. Henry Sanford still 17th. Billy Kidd down to 16th. Carrillo up to 15th. Hayes Green in 14th. Pretty much everybody else we've seen around the top 15 is in the top 15 still.
One thing to note is Mitch Collins and DeLello, maybe if they can't stretch the field, could be a problem later in the race. But other than that, I think Ibrahimi just needs to stay cool here. He's got a 4.5-second lead. Just don't overcook those tires.
Sanders closing the gap right now due to heavy traffic, but once he hits the 40s bumper, that gap gain will probably start to stall. As Sam Young and Lucas Catano, they've been going back and forth for third as they pass Mitchell Collins. So that's where the 14 is. A straightaway behind the leader. He is still very off pace. Let's see where DeLello is running. DeLello is not as off pace. He is right here in front of 14th. So here's a decent-sized gap, Vince, from 13th place Hunter Braxton to 14th Hayes Green. Not sure if Hunter, unless he's very off pace, will even fall back to those drivers. That is about a 3-second gap. And he's not closing on Gene Sanford either, so I think the battle on for top 10 is from Gene Sanford up. I think potential fallers, we could see maybe Mayhew. I know he pit early there. Bradley Ream. Brian Aska's already by Holton for 6th. She will likely get Daniel Brown here for 5th in a moment. But looking at the championship picture, Vince, you know, Donovan Cage with issues, Ice causing those issues. Audra's still looking at a net gain in the championship here.
Yeah, that's what you want going into the spring break. Nice 5 weeks off, get that truck all souped up.
More like summer break.
Yeah, it's my fault because I'm so used to meteorological summer, June 1st, but that's fine. Summer break, a Memorial weekend, whatever. Have fun, enjoy a little bit, and then get back at it. But I don't know, man. I think Sam Young's not done yet. He's starting to close the gap now. Lane, he can definitely get second.
He stayed out. He stayed out the longest there out of anybody, and he only lost about 2 seconds to where he was on the track, which was crazy to see. I think because he stayed out as long as he did, it was actually more of like a true overcut that we would kind of see on the speedways because pit road was emptying out when he came in. So it's really worked out for him here. I'm not sure if he can gain 5 seconds in the next 33 laps, but he's going to give a shot at it. You know, still running 21.2s. Ibrahimian's already into the 4s, and we know they're both only going to get slower as the run goes on. But right now, if I'm Ibrahimian, I want to get by the 47 and the 4. Get a little clean air. The DeLello's going to be the first of those 2 trucks we mentioned that are very slow on the straightaways. Well, more so the 14 than the 92, but y'all know what I'm saying. And Sam Young's got the gap under 5 seconds, Vince. Could Sam Young be the first to win 2 races in a row this year?
What's this, Penske looking for another 1-2? I think they had the most 1-2s this season. Or this might be their first, I don't know.
Penske's been very strong this year, even with rookie Pat Johnson in the 12. He's not having a good day today, down in 28th, but, I mean, he has shown some great speed this season. The rookies have been a lot more racy for top 10s this year than I really expected. I'm not sure if that's because more veteran drivers pulled up to the Cup Series full time or not, but I know we always have a large rookie field in trucks. This year we have an especially large rookie field in trucks. But I'm really surprised by how they've been able to fight for top 10s every week.
And it just shows the character building as well. As I think Lane Sanders has now seen Sam Young. I think they're about to battle real quick. Yep.
This is the battle for second place. Lucas Catano is also closing up on the 31. Bradley Ream has made it into 5th. Audra has fallen down to 9th. But Sam Young's got a lap truck on his inside there. That's Roger James. That's going to stall Young's closing rate.
James looks fast here. He might have some fresher tires.
Sam Young overshot the corner entry again. That's what's going to keep getting him stuck on the top if he's not careful. Got to get your truck pinned to the bottom here. Roger James goes by Lane Sanders, too. See, Sam Young can follow him by.
Yep.
Looks like that's going to be the case, so battle's on for second, but... So we're talking about the championship with Audra gaining over those behind her. Well, Sam Young could be the one with the most to gain here. He continues to gain. He came in 99 points back of the championship.
Even with all that battle, it's almost 3 seconds now. Hold up.
They closed a lot on Ibrahimian that time, and I think that might have been because of DeLello. As Ibrahimian puts Donovan Cage. Well, Cage is still following behind him. Cage is getting positions as Ibrahimian laps these guys. Chris White going by Joshua Johnson there for 24th. But it's down to 3 seconds. Coming to 22 to go this time by. Yeah, there's a chance, Vince. This makes me think of the Cup race at Richmond last week. There's a chance.
He's got to get by Roger James, though. That's the key.
He's peeking under him this time by. And if you're Ibrahimian, the worst thing that could happen to you is if someone gets to your inside. That'll let Sam Young reel you right in.
I think Donovan Cage might be that guy.
Well, that would be a little weird for the Chevy driver to help out another Ford driver, but Lucas Catano's also closing the gap, but I don't think he's got anything for Sam Young.
Oh boy, this is going to get big now. Mitchell Collins is right there. This could be big.
Oh, Ibrahimian shot up the track a little bit there. Pat Johnson's also right there. He's the next one for Sam Young to pass. We'll see if the teammate helps out the other teammate. As Calhoun's going to put Ibrahimian to the outside with 20 to go. You don't want to be on the outside because that's where Mitchell Collins is.
Sam Young is there, man. If he gets by his teammate, ironically, I think it could get interesting. There's the 11 washing up. Now 22 is going to go low.
Yep, 22 wants to go low here, so you get by Collins with ease. Just look at all the straightaway speed you're losing there. Plus, he's on older tires in the corner. That should make things a lot easier. Look at this. Ibrahimian, if he could pass the 4 people in front of him, he would have clean air. So you see Sam Young. He's going to move Pat Johnson up the track. Doesn't want to have to deal with Mitchell Collins either. 1.5 seconds that time by. Catano, he's closing as well. 2.8 back. Bradley Ream's got about a second over Baranowskis for 5th.
Or battling in front of Ibrahimian. Josh Johnson, I believe, is the next one for Sam Young.
3 trucks in front of Sam Young until he can get to Ibrahimian. Blaine Saylor shoots up to the top. And Ibrahimian will put another truck between him and the 29, his teammate. Delon Ibrahimian, Vince, when we look at his career in this truck series, just one career win came way back in, I believe it was 2019.
Chicagoland?
Was it 2019 or 2020? It was 2020, Chicagoland.
Yeah, the finale, 2020. Yep.
Well, Chicagoland wasn't the finale in 2020, but that's besides the point. But that was the only time we saw Ibrahimian win. Really thought he'd have some chances last year. Michigan, I think, was his best shot at a win. And now Donovan Cage is peeking to his inside. Got to hold him off. Sam Young, he's closing.
Cage, a little bump and run.
Ibrahimian's really trying to keep the bottom here. It'll be 13 to go at the start-finish line. Still 4 trucks between the 22 and the 29. This is about as far as Audra got on the first run. It was about a second and a half. Young will get by Sailor. Cage is still peeking his nose. See Ibrahimian, though, he gets the run off the corner. Now Joshua Johnson's looking to the inside of Chris White. Can Sam Young go by with him?
Yeah, White's high. Oh, Pat Johnson's going underneath. That's not what Sam Young needs.
And that prevented Young from getting under Chris White. Now Ibrahimian's got his bumper over Brad Lewis. This is letting Catano close the gap. Meanwhile, battle is on for 5th between Ream and Audra Baranowskis. Holton 7th, Mayhew 8th, Gene Sanford 9th, and Will Parrish is 10th. And that pack actually closed the gap up to Braxton and others.
Yeah, Daniel Brown fell off a cliff.
Yeah, Brown fell to 16th, man. Audra still looking for another top 5 result here. That would be her 5th top 5 in 7 races. Also would be her 5th top 10. So Audra does not have a finish in the top 10 that's not also a top 5 this season. That could be the first one today if she doesn't get by the 98. Meanwhile, Gene Sanford peeking under Brandon Mayhew, looking to get another position. We know how valuable one more position in the top 10 is for the championship. 8 laps to go. Yeah, that gap is stable at 1.3 seconds. See Catano getting by Sailor now.
Here we go, though.
Sam Young gets by Chris White. Now he's going to get by Donovan Cage. That leaves just 1 truck. It's down to a second. 7 to go.
Not over yet. And I'm telling you, Sam Young wins. It'll be 3 in a row for the Youngs, too. Dating back to last week.
Yeah, that's correct. Oh, and here's another statistic for you, Vince. We mentioned that Dylan Young won the 2021. Dylan Young won the 2021 Cup race at Richmond, and then Sam Young won the truck race at Richmond. Dylan Young won the Cup race here last year. Coincidence? Trend? 5 to go, and Ibrahimian still can't get by Brad Lewis, and now Sam Young's in his rearview mirror.
Good Lord, Brad Lewis is Fitzy's protege. This is like a wet dream for him. Lap trucks, angry.
5 to go. Ibrahimian on the inside of Lewis. Sam Young, though, is closing. And Sam Young, he's got the tire advantage, too. Let's not forget that. He's just got to set up a pass. They're side by side in front of him.
You might need to do the bump and run. We'll have to see. Oh, he's going to go a little high, try a dime in the corner. I don't think he's going to lose a little time. Oh, he lost a lot.
Brad Lewis is going to stay to his inside here unless he can pull down in front of him. That was 3 laps to go that time by. Brad Lewis still there. This might do it.
Good run.
Big run off of turn 2.
Oh, Calhoun's checking up a little bit.
Set up the focus. Calhoun gets put to the top by Ibrahimian. 2 laps to go at Martinsville. Oh,
That's
and
it.
Sam Young stayed behind Winnie Calhoun. What was he thinking there to get in line? That's going to do it. There's no way now. Or maybe I'm mistaken.
Not over yet.
White flag in the air. Ibrahimian looking to the inside of Mason Dagger. He folds back in line here.
Dagger's giving him a tough time. Depends on this run the outside for Dagger. It's big. Sam Young's going to peak a little higher. 3 and 4. It's all
Dagger
you,
gets
buddy.
a run through turns 3 and 4. Sam Young's not going to get there. Staying behind Calhoun was the difference for that one lap. And Ibrahimian will win at Martinsville. So the Young trend doesn't continue here, Vince, but Penske won in the Cup Series here a year ago, and now they win in the Truck Series here the next year. So you can say from a team standpoint that the team in the Truck Series, they have learned from Dylan Young, especially in this 1-2 finish.
Yeah, Penske's hot right now. They're definitely on a streak. Now let's see what Donovan Cage 25th. Audra definitely good day
Wow,
today.
Audra flew up to 4th there at the end. Lane Sanders 5th, Catano 3rd. Bradley Ream, Jack Holton, Brandon Mayhew, Gene Sanford, Will Parrish 6th to 10th. Henry Sanford 13th. Benjamin Ice 18th. Carrillo 20th. Daniel Brown, man, he really fell off from that undercut. And you see the rest of your finishing results. Well, we have incidents to look at. Well, this was a 3-wide gone wrong with Ribbleton, Cage, and Ice. Cage is kind of leaning on Ribbleton, and then he pulls down. They're holding line there, and then Ice actually just kind of came up into him here. And, yeah, this never works out well. And boom! Around goes Donovan Cage.
Yeah, up in the traffic here.
He saves it. Right there. Contact with Billy Kidd. We move on. See Hayes Green and others start bouncing into each other here.
Mitchell Collins is there.
And then Roush got in the grass. That made things sketchy for a split second.
Back up here, 3 watt.
I want to wonder where this started. I think it started with the 11.
The only thing I can remember will be Cage with Anderson on the back stretch should be the next thing.
Oh, yes, you're correct. Or it was Parrish, actually. Right here.
Yeah, Parrish and then into Anderson. Yep, here we go.
And the Braxton piece there, and then, yep, Cage just swung it back. Anderson's trying to miss this, and, well, you should have just hit the brake, buddy. Excuse me. And then,
Now this is where curb shenanigans happen.
Anderson got launched. Look at this. Vroom! Right in the Brad Lewis, and that sent Mitchell Collins, man. That sent him
Everyone's
hard. See, we got a good look here at pit lane 2 camera. You can just see it to your left. How everyone goes into the grass. See Calhoun stuck. Yeah, there's contact from DeLello. And then Reggie's going to get stuck. And Audra pulls down for whatever reason. Sam Young, too. See, Sam Young, though, he just drove straight by on the curb. Carrillo kind of did the same thing, but Ribbleton, man, he really got stuck here.
there's Brad, Mitch Collins.
Oh, yeah, and this is where it all continued. Collins became a pinball there. Jack James hit him. Pat Johnson hit him. Ibrahimian almost went down to the curb again himself. And then after that, we had no incidents, surprisingly. So that'll do it for us here today. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the Digital Storm Cup Series. 125 laps of action. It is sure to be an even crazier race.